Across LC with your hosts, Jeff Alsman and Cody Zipman.
And welcome to another edition of the A to Z Across LC podcast. My name is Jeff Alsman. Our co-host, Cody Zipman, is tied up doing some athletic director work today, so he's hoping to be able to pop in a little bit later, but we're joined by Producer O, who is along for the ride. Welcome, Producer O. You not only get to push all the buttons, but you get to be on camera.
Right. My work has doubled
You've
today.
doubled.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Plus you get to say, very thoughtful things and add to the program and, all of that.
Let's calm down and let's keep expectations medium.
Well, look who you're replacing. I mean, after all. But you are replacing the star of the program.
The star of the program, and he actually has a day job, so that's what he's doing right now.
That's what he's doing today.
Right.
So
that's all right.
We're giving him the excused absence, at least for half the show.
Right. Don't let it happen again.
Exactly. Hey, speaking of the show, we've got a good one lined up for you. We hope we're going to be speaking to Marisa Hacker from Bike MS. She's the director there, and the Bike MS event is going to be held here on campus the weekend after Labor Day. It'll be the 10th year for that, and their 40th overall. So they've been doing this quite a while, and a decade on campus. Isn't that wild?
That's wild. And it's packed. Every year it's packed.
Big deal for sure. They use a lot of the campus and lots of bikers around the area. And Marisa will be telling you all about that here coming up shortly. Also today, we're going to be talking to Tom Pullen about the All 80s Alton event. It'll be held down in downtown Alton. And I don't know if that's all 80s music or just people who are all 80, or if it's people from the 80s decade. That's what I'm thinking it probably is. We'll find out.
I bet it's probably a little bit of everything you just described. Knowing the Alton Block Party scene, well, I'm sure that's what it is.
And of course, Tom is the owner of MOJO's Music, and so it's going to be a big music event. I don't know exactly all the details. That's why we're going to have Tom here to have him tell us all about it.
Yeah, fill us in, and then we can ask those questions. How many 80-year-olds are you expecting
exactly.
out of this thing?
Yes.
Right.
And how long do you expect them to be there? That'll be the other question. And then also another huge event that's coming to the campus here in our Hatheway Auditorium on September 13th, the Tailor-Made concert. And there's talk not only on campus, but all over the area about getting tickets to this. And what it is it's a Taylor Swift, I'm going to call it, what's that called?
Tribute
Yes.
show, right?
Tribute show. And they're from the area here, and they sell out lots of different local events and venues that they play at. And Jamie Pullen is the president of the Alton Youth Symphony. It's a benefit for the Youth Symphony, but we're also going to be talking to Taylor. I really shouldn't call her Taylor. I should call her Courtney. That's her real name. But I slip up and call her Taylor all the time. So if I do that today, you'll have to just edit that out and just go put the black thing across and put Courtney.
I'll just make a bleep sound so
people will know. Yeah, Taylor might get a little upset.
Yeah. Well, Courtney
might get more upset.
You already did it once, right?
Well,
but the other Taylor.
The other Taylor.
Actual Taylor.
The actual Taylor.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Courtney would mind if she was, confused.
I guess not.
Yeah, I think she'd be okay with that. So that's coming your way as well. We do want to talk about a few things that are going to be happening. I have to do this so that I can see them. We've got coming up on the 21st, the blue and white game for the volleyball team. They'll be playing. If you want to come hang out and see that starts at 6:00. Freshman initiation is going to be on Friday the 23rd. That'll be from 3 to 5, and initiation in a good way.
Well, yeah, right.
It's a kind of a misleading title, I think. When you normally
it's a misunderstood title.
Yeah, misunderstood title. That's a better way to put it.
Because I saw that. I saw a flyer. Freshman initiation. Here
really?
we go.
Yeah.
Welcome to college.
Yes.
Right. These are 18-year-olds.
Yeah. So what it really is, it's a chance for them to come and get around the campus and find all their classes and things like that. So that's what the initiation is to allow them to get familiar with the campus. Some of them have already done that. They've been here.
Right.
Even with their family, and they've toured around it. But if they haven't, this is a good opportunity.
They used to be called orientation.
I think that's a better word for it.
Well, I think it's more boring. Initiation,
that draws your attention.
Talking,
yes,
right?
it does get your attention.
It puts butts in the seats, maybe.
That's true. Alton High School is going to have a tennis tournament here on the 24th. And then we kick into real action on the 25th with men's and women's soccer going on. It's a doubleheader at noon and 2. Welcome week starts all next week. The faculty back this week. The students come back next week, and then things really start kicking into high gear. Welcome week. We talked about some of those activities during our last episode. The different things each night that are right. Taking place on campus. So you can go to our website and find those things out. And then we've got the different Trailblazers, soccer and volleyball all coming up in that next week as well. If you want to find out anything that's going on, you can go to events.lc.edu, bring up the public calendar, and it'll all be there for you right there at your fingertips.
Cool.
So I think with that, we can get ready to find out all about Bike MS. Are you ready to ride?
No.
Roll. Are you ready to roll?
To support. I'm ready to support in some way other than riding a bike.
I was just throwing it out there as a pun, but yeah,
I'm not taking any chances in committing to it.
And Marisa will tell us more, but the routes are anywhere from 25 to 100 miles per day.
Whatever. Right.
I'm thinking it's motorcycle time.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'll sit at home and I'll
pass up these guys
on Nintendo.
Hey, see you at the finish line, that sort of thing.
Right. No, not me, pal, but I will support any way that I'm able.
Absolutely.
I'm just not getting on a bike.
Well, hey, you got a chance. You can take us out. You haven't done that before, I don't think, have you? For our
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking about Bike MS here on the campus of Lewis and Clark Community College.
We are?
LC A2Z.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark. I got my start in the radio program that put me on the path to where I am today. We still do radio, but now we're so much more. Podcasting, producing, and editing, not to mention new equipment, studios, courses, and a new name. If you want to work in professional media or create better content for the things you love, do like I did and discover your path at Lewis and Clark Community College. Enroll today at lc.edu.
And welcome back to the A to Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman here and sitting in for Cody Zipman today. Producer O is with us as well. He's going to be part of the program while Cody's taking care of some documentation that athletic directors have to get on athletes that come in at the beginning of each semester. Cody might pop in a little bit later in the program. If he does, we've got his chair warm for him. But right now, we've got big news. We are going to be welcoming to the program Marisa Hacker. She is director of Bike MS. And it's
Hi, Jeff.
Hi. The event's going to be on campus over the Labor Day weekend. After the weekend.
After Labor Day.
After Labor Week.
Yep.
We couldn't do it on the Labor Day weekend. That'd be way too much. The weekend after Labor Day, and it's been on campus for several years now, and we're welcoming it back again. We'd love to have it, and we're happy to have you, Marisa, with us on the program. So give us just kind of an overview of what we can expect from the Bike MS event this year.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. We love having Bike MS at Lewis and Clark Community College each year. Your community is so welcoming to us, and this is actually our 40th annual ride that will be happening on September 7th and 8th, and the 10th annual ride we've had at Lewis and Clark. So we've been doing this a while. I know.
A whole decade.
Yep, nice. Shows how much we love you all, and you've been really welcoming to us. The whole college campus rallies around us. We've got college athletes that come out and support us, staff members, faculty, and then the entire really Riverbend community rallies around Bike MS.
Yeah,
So
there's tons of people every year. Tons of people every year. It's amazing.
What is the estimated attendance with folks on campus? I'm guessing it's in above 1,000, right? It's in the thousands.
Yep. So we're expecting about 1,000 to 1,100 cyclists this year, and typically we have about 300 volunteers that it takes to put this event on. So, a pretty substantial weekend, and all of those cyclists and volunteers and community members and folks that just come out to be spectators help us raise much needed awareness and funds for multiple sclerosis. And this year we're expecting to raise $1.3 million with their help. So we're just super excited to celebrate all the progress that we've achieved together so far, and spend this weekend really looking forward to the breakthroughs that are on the horizon. So we do all that while, throwing a big festival there on the campus. It's absolutely amazing. And we take over really all of the Madison, Jersey, Macoupin counties with cyclists that entire weekend. And folks can kind of expect to see cyclists out there on the roads from 7 to 5 p.m. each day on that Saturday and Sunday. So we obviously just ask that everyone travels with caution. These folks are doing great work in their community, and we just appreciate everyone helping keep them safe out there. And then invite folks to come and celebrate with us at that festival site that is open from about 11 a.m. until 10 p.m. on Saturday. We'll have a band, have live music, drinks, food, all of those good things, and then we'll do it again on Sunday. And that day, that festival site on campus is open until about 5 p.m. So, really big weekend. Lots of hugs, lots of high fives. Lots of progress that we're celebrating together.
We've got some graphics that we're going to put up to show a sampling of what some of the routes are. But before we do that, my first thought when she said like 1,000 to 1,100 folks and lots of this and lots of that, my first thought is lots of muscle cramps. that would be me if I'm, Yeah. Do you allow scooters? I'm thinking that's what I need.
I'm wondering if you and I can enter a tandem bike, you and me.
Are you going to be in the front?
I'll be in the front.
If you're in the front where the pedals are, then I could do that.
I think you're thinking of a rickshaw.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, exactly.
So tandems are allowed.
Yes, yeah. Tandems are allowed. E-bikes are allowed.
Okay.
We do have people
e-bikes
that ride tricycles, recumbent bikes. In the past, we've had somebody do the 75-mile route on a unicycle, which is just absolutely absurd.
Now.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's amazing.
Listen,
it's amazing.
Maybe I'm putting the horse ahead of the cart or whatever the expression
is. Sort of like
is.
the rickshaw?
Right, well, right.
Yes, yeah. Uh-huh.
But let's say I'm not getting on a bicycle, unicycle, or tricycle. Are there ways that I can help and participate and donate or help the cause, even though I'm not getting on a bike?
Yes. So as I said earlier, we have about 300 volunteers that it takes to put on this event. So if somebody's looking to come out and volunteer, they can sign up to volunteer at gatewaybikems.org. That's the same website that folks will go to register as a participant and to donate to the cause as well. So everything happens there at gatewaybikems.org. We'd love to have folks, whether they can come out for an hour, a whole day, the whole weekend. We can definitely find the opportunity that's right for them.
Awesome.
So what you're really getting at is how much would you and I need to pay to not have to ride? Is that what you're saying? Is that it? Yeah.
Right. Listen.
So let's put up the graphic that has there are 8 different routes. There are 4 routes each day: a 25 mile, a 50 mile, a 75 mile, and a 100 mile. And you can see, and the same thing repeats the second day, but they're entirely different routes.
Different route, yeah.
Correct.
So if you look at if you can see the little red boxes, that will give you an idea. I'm looking up here. People at home don't know that I'm looking up at the top of the screen where we can see the graphics, but it encompasses quite an area in the 2 days. Can we go to the one that's the first day, the 25-mile route? That's the one that I kind of picked out because it's the most local, and it takes you now I've got to take my glasses off to look at it on my computer. You start at Godfrey. It takes you, you go through Fosterburg, and most of this is on different terrains. So it's not all on highways necessarily, which bikers probably love that, to be able to see, different elevations and different types of grounds and things like that. The 25-mile one looks like it'd be more than enough for me to try to tackle in 2 days, let alone 1 day.
I'm looking for the 2.5 mile.
The 2.5 mile, yeah. Well, that's where you leave Godfrey and you go down to Godfrey Road and you turn around and you come back. That's that one. And then there's, if we can look at the next one, that's the first day, the 100 mile, and it takes you. Make sure I'm looking at the right one, and I am. So it takes you from Godfrey up the River Road through Elsa and then up, through what I call the back country. You get up to Otterville and all the way up to Jerseyville. You come back south. You go over through, I can't see what that one town in. It's covered up with the line. But you end up all the way
through Prairie Town.
There you go. Keep going over to Warden, and that takes you through Holiday Shores, I think, and back through Bethalto. So for folks that want to stay local-ish and still get a 100-mile trip in, that first day especially, you can do that. And this is the one.
Scenic.
Very scenic.
It is scenic. And you know what? Even if you're driving that route, that's kind of a long drive. I can't imagine being on a bike.
You know what? That brings up a good point. Go ahead and answer that question. I have a follow-up.
Yeah, so I was going to say the good news is that this is the most supported you will ever be out there on a bicycle. So we have rest stops that happen every 8 to 12 miles. And if you've ever ridden Bike MS before, you'll know like the rest stops are what make Bike MS what it is. Our volunteers go all out. They bring special snacks and goodies. They bring decorations. They have photo booths. I mean, I really say that like the 100-mile route is just little 10-mile segments, rest stop hopping, if you will. So you can stay at those as long as you like. We're a ride, not a race. And that 25-mile route is definitely a good starter option, as folks can kind of ride 12 miles, take a break, spend some time. Some of those rest stops, or actually all of the rest stops, have pickle juice to help with those cramps.
Oh, is that what that's for?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have these things called pickle pops, and those will really help people out if they get a cramp out there. But we've got more snacks than people know what to do with. And we'll have roaming support vehicles out there. So like if you do get, 2.5 miles in and you say, hey, this is, I bit off more than I can
this
chew.
isn't for me.
Yeah. Call that number. They'll come pick you up. And then nobody has to know what happened. They can drop you off right outside the finish line, and you can ride in, and everyone thinks that you're just the fastest person.
How do I explain that to my wife? Where have you been all day? I've been riding for MS.
It'll be like, where have you been all 4 minutes?
Yeah.
Like you did a 100-mile ride in 25 minutes?
Exactly,
Right.
Well, that's what
so nobody needs to know.
That was the question I was going to ask when you brought up, if you were driving this. I assumed that there was definitely support vehicles, and I thought that was the question I was going to ask. Is they're pretty important parts of this too, because I'm guessing they also probably carry a lot of equipment or repair things, patches for tires, extra water bottles. I can't even think of what all it might be, but I would think they would play a significant role in the success of the actual riders.
Correct. They definitely make our cyclists feel supported and seen out there on the route. And then if there's anything that they cannot provide for the cyclists, whether they need, more extensive mechanic support or things like that, each rest stop does have a bicycle mechanic at it. So they would just pick somebody up and advance them to the next rest stop where they can get even more detailed support from all of our bike shop partners that come out and donate their time to support these cyclists.
So we mentioned what I'm calling the Southern 100.
That's that one, right?
Yeah. Can we bring up the Northern 100? So if you did each 100-mile ride each day, you basically would I mean, you'd be going through
Shipman?
Shipman,
Holy
and
cow!
up to Sawyerville, and then down through Staunton and over across Bunker Hill. You got
You
Brighton
see the
as part of
entire
that.
surrounding area with these
Yeah,
routes.
it's like you go through 3 different counties and just you really.
I want to say, if I remember correctly, through the 8 routes over both days, we cover about 510 unique miles of the surrounding area. So you'll definitely get a taste of what the community has to offer.
Well, they're unique might be one way to put it. It was, as far as that's a lot of miles.
That's a lot of miles.
Yeah.
A lot of miles, but
Much love to Shipman and Staunton, but I mean the River Road has
the river roads are
right?
nice.
Right, the River Road's
you know.
real pretty.
Yeah. So who picks out the routes? Are these routes, once you've established them, they stay the same pretty much year after year?
So we try to tweak them a little bit from year to year. We have a staff member, Terry Lee, who I think that you have met,
Yes,
Jeff. She helps plan the routes along with some of our volunteer cyclists that would sit on a committee. And then we go out, test the routes, make sure that they can hold the capacity of cyclists that we have traveling over them. And then they go out and really just test them and make sure that the routes are safe, in great conditions, things like that. But we really try to tweak them at least a little bit every year, if not anything, just for safety purposes and because, road construction happens and things like that.
Sure.
But we really like the route that we've had the past 2 years. The ones that we have this year, we rode last year. The only truly brand new route that we have this year is that 25-mile route. To have those folks kind of meet up with our longer routes later on, see more of their friends out there, and just get to see new areas. So try to make that one a little bit more beginner friendly.
So I'm going to assume that producer O isn't necessarily a biker extraordinaire, and I'm certainly not. But are you wanting? You took a breath. I think you wanted to answer.
No, I was thinking. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so I had BMX bikes.
Well,
And we would,
BMX.
we would jump off the neighbor's curbs. And,
I've ridden a bike. I don't.
Right,
want
it's
you
like
to
I
think
know how to
it's
ride a
like
bike. I'm not sure what the implication is. You're leading.
Well, here's
to,
where I
'cause
was
you kinda
going.
Just told everybody you weren't sure if I knew how to ride a bike.
No, I know how you ride it. I know you. I figured you knew how to ride one. I just didn't think you wanted to go 100 miles.
I don't.
So, but where I was really going was taking us out of the equation. I bet there are some folks that this is a really big deal for.
It's a big deal,
for
right? It's a big
folks that-
community,
yeah,
right?
big community. And is there a little competition going on between bikers? Hey, we want to be the first in, first out sort of thing? Or
So I'll say the competition isn't necessarily how fast they go. The competitions are around who can ride the most training miles leading up to the ride. We have a leaderboard on our website. People really take advantage of that and use that for bragging rights. We have, and then the largest team is another huge accomplishment for us. And then the largest fundraising team, obviously. And then we celebrate milestones of how long people have been riding. So not necessarily folks that are out there hammering out the miles as fast as they possibly can. They really like to get out there and enjoy every moment of it. But there's definitely competition amongst who's going to be the number one fundraiser, who's going to hit another milestone for their team, things like that, who's going to recruit the most riders. And then we celebrate all of that at the ride, at the finish line. And then we do a post-ride party as well that people get some awards and trophies and things like that.
Oh, that's cool.
it is. Now, do some of the teams that either do the fundraising or actual riding teams, I'm guessing a lot of these folks aren't local necessarily. They're coming in from different spots for this event, because this is just one stop on what I'm going to maybe incorrectly title, but like a national tour. I mean, there are several events across the country that happen like this. This one just happens to be in our area. Do you have groups that just tour around and travel and participate in multiple events?
Yeah, so the Gateway Getaway, which is our local ride, is one of 50 across the country. And we definitely have folks, most, I would say majority of them are coming from like the St. Louis, Alton, Godfrey surrounding areas. But we do have what we call passport cyclists, that those are our top fundraisers that basically get a free ride. You raise $5,000 level or higher for Bike MS, and then you get free registration for you and a friend to any Bike MS event across the entire country. And we host a handful of passport riders, and we also send passport riders across the country to other Bike MS events as well. So this year we'll have about 10 of those VIP cyclists here in St. Louis, and then we'll have qualifying about like 50 to 60 folks that actually qualify for that fundraising level that can go other places across the country as well.
So you mentioned something very early on, and that is the safety of the riders and folks who are out on the roads and in the area during the event, and we certainly want to highlight that for sure. So before we let you go, tell us again when the folks are going to be out there so folks will know to begin to be on the lookout. What time does it start each day? It just kind of, so people can say, oh yeah, I remember those, the bikers are coming through today, so let's give them plenty of room, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so we'll have cyclists on the road starting at 7 a.m. on Saturday and then 7 a.m. again on Sunday. And both days they'll be out there until about 5 p.m. is when our routes close. So we just ask that everyone travels with caution, give folks at least 3 feet of distance between your motor vehicle and the cyclist. If you can give more, they greatly appreciate it. And just ask everybody to remember to, plan more time when you're traveling. So if you're, headed to plans, give yourself ample time because you may have a slower commute than normal, but just know these people are out there doing really great work. So.
Well, we certainly appreciate you being with us and certainly having the event here headquartered on our campus. We hope you raise lots of money. That's an important part of this. We hope everybody has a lot of fun. That's another important part of this. We hope that the cramps are limited this year, that you have lots of pickle juice.
What if you don't like pickle juice?
I don't know. I had never heard of the pickle juice.
Other electrolytes.
No, we used to do that in baseball.
Pickle juice.
Yeah, you'd have water bottles full of pickle juice, and the kids would just be
I'm going to have to try that. This little calf thing going on. So can you inject it, or is it just
I think
you'll be the first to try.
Yeah, I will.
You'll be the first to try.
First and last, for sure. Well, Marisa, thanks so much
for having
being
me.
with us. Looking forward to it, and you'll have to give us a report back on how everything went for you.
We definitely will. Thank you for having me today, and thanks for hosting us on the campus.
Absolutely. That's Marisa Hacker, Director of Bike MS, and we'll be right back. We're going to talk about an event that's happening in downtown Alton. It's the All 80s Alton event. We'll have that next on the A to Z Across LC podcast.
We are
LC A to Z.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but dental hygiene could have been my thing. Or my path could have been conservation.
And welcome back to the A to Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman here. We're joined by another co-host now, Mike Lemons.
It takes more than one sub to fill Cody's shoes.
Well, Cody's shoes, he is the star of the show. It is, big shoes to fill. And we had mentioned that he's off doing athletic director official duties today.
As busy as his schedule is, it's a surprise he hasn't missed more.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
He's very dedicated to the A to Z.
So I'm happy to fill in, especially for this next segment.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. So we have with us a couple of organizers of the All 80s Alton Mixer. We have Tom and Jamie Pullen with us. Welcome both of you to the A to Z Across LC podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So I want to know what exactly is this all 80s music? Is it the folks that are going to be here? Is it all from the classes of the 80s?
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's only for octogenarians.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Is it going to be all 80-year-olds at the
Yes.
event? And, yeah.
It's good.
We teased that earlier as a joke, and here you are.
It goes from 4 to 4:45. But they can get dinner down there early. So
Well, you better move the dinner to 3:30.
Right, just in case.
And that way they
But the
can go in.
discounts should be on Wednesday. This isn't a Wednesday, I don't
True
think.
that.
right?
True. So no, it's literally it kind of came about with us saying, man, we hung out with people a year or two older than us, and we hung out with people who went to Marquette or Mississippi Valley Christian or whatever. And it's like, why aren't we getting together? And so the idea was that we all if you're from Alton, you graduated in the 80s and you went to any of the high schools or none of the high schools. And honestly, we're not going to card people and we're not going to look you up in the Tatler.
Yeah.
So if you like the 80s, come on down. Or if you like people from the 80s, come on down. But it's really just a mixer. It's not going to be, there are no formal celebrations of who drove the farthest, who has the most kids, any of those class reunion-y things. And it's just a party. And we have bands lined up. We have DJs lined up. We have food and drink. And it's just going to be a place to hang out and talk and hang out and have fun and blah, blah, blah.
Now, when you say come on down, to where?
Max.
Okay.
We're blocking off Bell Street. And we're going to put a stage up between Max and Hainer. And we've got 5 bands lined up. And it's just going to be a celebration from 4 to 11, or probably later, but we have to stop playing music at 11.
Any octogenarians in the bands that you know of? Or?
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Well, all of them have a connection to the 80s. We're in high school.
Okay.
Everybody
in the 80s, yes.
Everybody in the band,
What?
all the bands have to have at least one Alton 80s member.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I might know some of these folks.
You probably do.
Yeah.
The opening band is Climate, and it is the Palins.
Sure.
And a musical royal family in around here. Tim and his dad and everybody. So they're opening the show. Then Porch Cafe is coming on. Brent McCarty is a 84 Marquette grad. And then Derek Howard's band Rock Bottom is coming on. He's 87, I think. But he's also Alton. And then the Undecided, we're making our rock and roll debut. Nobody's ever seen us play or anything. But,
Okay.
and
Nervous?
no.
Oh, okay.
No.
I figured not.
And there's, we're all from Alton High at different various stages along the way. And then a band called, I'm going to get this wrong.
Something about the future.
Destroy the Future. And that's Jay Davison's band. And he's also an 80s Alton guy. So
I hate to burst your bubble, but you're all going to be upstaged by Taylor Swift in the next segment. I just wanted you to know that. So.
that's the plan.
Yeah.
So how did this idea really blossom? Because I know there are other folks involved as well. Cammie Bieber, who is went to Alton High. I think was she in your class, or you're behind you? I think maybe.
Yep.
Her class.
And
Okay.
her husband is class of 89 maybe.
Something.
I think he was with my
So
brother.
like all good plans at Alton, all I had to do was say, hey, Cammie, I've got an idea. And 3.5 hours later, I had spreadsheets and planograms and everything was already done. And, that's how Cammie works. She's like a wind-up doll. You just wind her up, put a quarter in her, and she goes. So the most key person on this entire thing, she reached out to everybody, got everything rolling. I just kind of said, hey, this is a good idea. She's like, this is a good idea. Let's do this. And bam, then we got off and running.
So before she's involved, the idea, how did that come about?
It was literally just kind of it's time. Dave Wickenhauser for years has been doing the 60s and 70s reunions down at Max. And it's like, we need to do one of these. And so we've kind of mentioned it for years and said it to some friends. And, you know, apparently I didn't say it loud enough because somebody else didn't pick it up and run with it, which is what I was really hoping for. But I said, okay, the time is now. You know, it's my reunion year. I'm an 84 kid, so this is my 40. Yikes. But, you know, and it's like, you know, let's just start talking about this. And, you know, we're not trying to pull away from any reunions. We don't want to make those go away in any way, shape, or form. But this is different. You know, this is the unreunion.
But you know, it kind of seems to make sense. When you go to high school, yes, you have your class, but you go to high school with 3 other classes.
Exactly.
Right.
Sure.
So, and you mingle with all those other people. So the thing that always seemed to be missing from a class reunion was those other folks.
Your friends, right?
And this you're going to get that plus some, and you're going to have other schools involved. And let's hope a fight doesn't break out between Alton and Marquette grads, which I don't think that'll happen. But I'm just teasing. We're too old to fight now, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, it's a pretty cool idea, and the response so far has been great.
It's been amazing. So in the first couple hours, we had several hundred people, and now we're at like 1,600.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and you know, and my first thought was, oh my God, do all these people have a +1? What are we going to, you know?
Right.
Hopefully their spouses or +1s have joined the group too, because we're not being super discriminating on who is in, as long as
I was
you're
just
not
going to
trying
ask.
to sell something.
I missed it by a year. Can I still
Of
come if I'm a
course.
79?
Well, and
Okay.
because
79's no.
no.
90s, yes.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
only if you wear the pit cop jacket.
Well, I
You've
see.
got to do that. That would be
Yeah.
special.
That would be
That
fun.
would be special. Yeah.
In fact, you might want to come up and drag a few of us off stage.
That would be great.
I'd really have to dig a lot to find the cuffs, I think, these days.
So I have to ask.
I've got some.
So the Undecided is playing.
Yes.
How long has it been?
The last time we got together was 3 or 4 years ago
Was that with an audience?
at Hopperfest. Yeah.
Okay.
Jody Hopper, you know, was our source for gear, and so we started doing a Hopperfest. The first year of that, we got the band back together to play a set, and it was a blast. And 500-600 people showed up that we were not expecting, and it's like, you know what, this is something.
Yeah.
And then it took us 3.5 more years to get back together again, but this time it's different. There's an energy there that was not there, and man, it's something.
I remember back when you were still in high school, and I was employed by the school district as the pit cop is what they're called.
Here we go.
Yes.
Security officer. I don't remember the names of all the guys, but you guys all had this little morning group, and you'd all come up and chit chat with me while I was letting cars in or not letting cars in.
Right.
They didn't have the right stickers and whatnot. And you guys seemed like you were the most peaceful troublemakers on campus. You were more pranksters than you were agitators. But
I wasn't out to get anybody else hurt or involved as much as just enjoying myself while I was there.
it was kind of like the way he is now. He has the idea, but he makes somebody else go do
Right.
it.
See,
That's,
I thought-
that's the thing.
When you started this, I thought I was going to go down a whole nother road.
Well, I do
remember
wanna
this
talk-
time when I had to come get you.
Oh,
and
no.
then,
No. But I would like you to talk a little bit, because I asked you this prior to the segment. The one thing I remember most is you were talking about the band that you were putting together back then and whatnot, and you were playing a fretless bass.
Right.
And to me, that was just the most wild thing I'd ever heard of. I don't know how anybody plays a bass without really knowing. I mean, it's just all by feel and sound and knowing where to put your fingers. And do you still do that?
You don't want to hear it if I do. So the thing is, on an upright bass, they're fretless, but they're also way longer. So wrong notes are way farther apart. I didn't know that when I started playing fretless electric bass. And so then I found, and after a while, you do get the intonation, because, I mean, even people play violin without frets.
Sure.
And so, and those notes are way closer together. but so over time you start to develop the ear for it and things like that. But I was doing a lot of jazz stuff then too, and the fretless really fit in nicely for that. So
it was just cool because I made music all my life, but I'd never heard of anybody actually playing something that didn't have frets on it. That was
and little musical nerddom here, but my favorite bass player has always been Pino Palladino, and nobody knows who he is, but he's the guy that played the fretless line on Boys of Summer. So that real nice, that real slidey, that was Pino, and he played on Every Time You Go Away by Paul Young, and all of a sudden I was like, I like that sound, and I was trying to emulate it, and then I found out it was all one guy, and I'm like, now I get it. So I kind of went down that path.
We should bring Jamie in. We haven't given her.
Well, I have a question for her.
Yeah.
So the vendors, what can people expect? I know that Max is doing some food, and obviously you're on 3rd Street and Bell Street, so you're going to be able to get adult beverages. But are there special, pop-up tents from like AARP and retirement communities? Or
Senior Services Plus.
Depends.
Max is doing all the food.
Yep.
We're keeping it simple this first year. So there'll be hamburgers, hot dogs, brats, that kind of thing out on the street. But then, you can always go into Max inside and their full menu will be available if you want something different. But for this first year, it's keep it simple.
I don't think that we actually said the date, did we?
No, I was just going to say date and time.
So give us all the details. Give us the things that people need to know. Do they need tickets? What's the date? What's the time? What should people do to get involved?
It is absolutely free of charge. So now everybody's in, right? September 7th, Saturday, 4 p.m. till we leave. And we will stop playing music outside about 11 o'clock, but it doesn't mean you've got to go home.
Yeah.
Right outside of Max on Bell.
Yep.
There's going to be stage set up there, and
stage
similar to how he's done in the past, right?
Yeah. So much like the Derby days and anything, that kind of stuff.
Guys, thank you so much. I mean, this is so exciting, and to be doing something like this for the community, not to mention everything that your business and MOJO's has done for the community over the years. So this is a really, really cool thing you're doing, and I can't wait to go.
Well, you've been a big part of it too. So and you and 80s music sort of go together in my brain. So
and I don't play a single instrument. How's that?
But you sing well.
Don't do that either.
And you're a big fan, though.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, guys. We just hope everyone shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Okay. We are
LC A to Z.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
Welcome back to the A to Z Across LC podcast. Jeff Alsman, your host. Mike Lemons setting in for Cody Zipman today as well. And we are excited for this next segment to bring you. We're going to be talking about a concert that's going to be a benefit for the Alton Youth Symphony. Jamie Pullen is back with us as president of the Youth Symphony for this segment. And alongside is Courtney Diamond, and she is the vocal star of the band called Taylor Made, and they are a Taylor Swift tribute band. They're going to be on campus here at the college on September 13th. We're going to give you all of the information about that. We are excited about it. Ladies, welcome to the A to Z Across LC podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yep.
So why don't we start before we get to the concert, let's talk a little bit about Alton Youth Symphony and about the benefit concert, how folks can get tickets, things like that. And then we're going to come to, almost called you Taylor, come to Courtney and we'll let her tell us all about the must be really fun stuff that she does. So tell us about the benefit part of this concert, first of all.
Okay, so Alton Youth Symphony is an organization that's been around 55 years now. I've only been president for a couple of years, but we are collaborating with the Alton Symphony Orchestra. And this concert is to benefit both organizations. We actually have auditions coming up in August for the fall season for Alton Youth Symphony. It's for roughly grades 5 through 8, and it's a full symphony orchestra. It's completely free of charge. It's a wonderful program that I really can't say enough good things about. And Alton Symphony is also a gem in our community. So we are looking forward to this event, and we're actually going to have some musicians from both orchestras participating, playing on several songs with Tailor Made on stage. So
they must be
exciting.
really looking forward to that.
I hope so. But tickets are available through Eventbrite, and you can find a link to that on Alton Youth Symphony's website, altonyouthsymphony.org, also Alton Symphony Orchestra's website.
And we should mention that there is a special discount for Lewis and Clark students, and they would go through the same process, but there will be a password that they'll get that we'll be sending out to all students via an all-student email on campus. So an extra great opportunity for Lewis and Clark students to take advantage of getting a ticket to the concert. So thanks for doing that.
Yes.
You're the mastermind behind, not the band, but the concert, right?
I guess so. I thought it would be a great idea, and fortunately, everybody else thought so too. So
then the work begins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's taken a lot of people working on this to get this going. And
now, are you worried about the success, because Taylor Swift's really not that big of a deal? So
Very true.
I wonder if you think
Good
that this
point.
might not be a thing, but wow. I'm a guy who's liked alternative rock his whole life, and I've ran a radio station for 30 years. I'm a Swiftie still.
Okay,
So
King, go off.
I think that it's cool. So how did this become about, and how you're doing this, and how long, and what has the response been like so far? I've gone to tribute shows before, like some of the Elvis ones, and the fans treat them like he's the real guy.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go, hey, that's not him, right?
Yeah, right.
But
yeah.
have you gotten that kind of similar response?
Yes. So I do a lot of correcting, as I did when I arrived today.
Yes.
I do a lot of correcting because there are tons of Taylor Swift tribute acts, right? But there are not very many that are not impersonators. And I am not an impersonator. I don't wear a wig. I didn't dye my hair. I don't sing any differently than my normal voice. It is all completely natural. I like to put it as Taylor Courtney's version. That's what I like to say.
There you go.
But yes,
Okay,
they
that's fair.
do all act very much like I am Taylor. I even have parents in like the meet and greets and stuff that we do. I have parents calling me Taylor, and that is very confusing because I'm like, I don't know if you really think that Taylor is in Centralia, Illinois, or if you're just going along with it for your kid. But either way, yes, that does happen, and I do a lot of, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Courtney. I try to push back on it pretty quickly because I don't want people to think I'm delusional enough to think that I'm Taylor Swift. I have way too much respect for that woman.
But they may want you to be. They may in the armies go, oh, please be a little more.
Please be. Yes, this is as close as I'm ever going to get to Taylor.
Kidding. Yeah. Is there a particular song that you enjoy doing or that the fans react to most?
I would say that there's probably 5 or 6 that are like the biggest songs of the night. The ones that I always like the most are the deeper cuts, so we don't play a lot of them. So, but there's always a large group of songs that you can tell the reaction is like times 10, but they're pretty crazy the whole time. I have to be honest. Like we're waiting to have a bad crowd, and it has not happened. So, we're just riding it out.
So I have 3 granddaughters. They are all 2 of them are less Swiftie than they used to be because they're getting a little older. But
sure,
one of them is, and my wife is.
Okay.
And so when they would come around, they'd flip on YouTube and they'd be watching all these concerts. And there's times when you've got people that are taping the concerts on their phone, and the audience is singing aloud so loudly that you can't even hear the band on the stage.
That does happen.
That happens at your
It happens
place too?
very frequently. Yes. Yes, all the time. Those big sing-along ones. I mean, it's just like, do I even need to sing at that point? It's like
just lip sync and nobody know, right?
Yeah, well, and I would never, ever, ever do that. But it's funny because when I first started, I think when we started as a band, I was so uptight about, like, I move around so much that I was like, my vocals are really going to suffer. So I would like plant myself in one spot to do something, or like, and then move when there was like no music or no vocals happening, because I was like, my voice can't sound bad. And then I realized they're 8 years old and they don't care. They do not care. So I've been able to have a lot more fun and interact with the audience and work on building the relationship between me and the audience versus always being 1,000% pitch perfect. But it is important that you know every single thing that you hear is live, all of it.
So what I'm hearing is, if we ever wanted to do a cover, or not an impersonation, what did you say, a tribute, or if we ever wanted to do that with our voices, we could, as long as they're very, very popular songs that everyone sings along to.
We should have got you if we just had a track.
Yeah, who knows?
Yes.
What artist would you guys do that for?
Now she's putting us on the spot. Can you really sell that artist? I mean, the look's not really there.
I couldn't. The look's not there and the voice isn't there, but I would do Manilow.
Okay.
Oh.
That would be fun.
All right.
I'd see that.
You see that?
I'd see that.
Oh.
I'd go
I don't
see
look
it.
anything like Manilow.
No, I'd go see it.
Oh, you'd go see it?
I'd go see it.
Oh, okay. That's like 50 years.
Barry Manilow doesn't even look like Manilow anymore.
No, you're right. That's true.
He's had a lot of work.
God bless him.
Like. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. So the concert is on September 13th, and that
Yes.
was strategically picked for a reason, because of the number 13.
Yes.
So give that little backstory.
Taylor Swift fans
Go
don't
ahead,
need
Jamie.
that.
They don't
You
need
take
that.
it,
That's
Jamie.
true. Swift fans don't need that.
The only thing that I know is that Taylor Swift's birthday is December 13th.
Yes.
So that's a magic number for that reason, but there's other reasons
There are
too,
so
right?
many reasons, and I don't remember the whole spiel of like coincidences with the number 13, but there was one interview that she did. It was either on Fallon or Kimmel or something like that, or maybe even Letterman. Who knows? It was so long ago. It was when she first started. And she said something about how her first single went number 1 in 13 weeks. And so when she went to some awards ceremony, I think when she went to the CMAs or the Grammys or something like that, she was seated at number 13, like row 13 or something like that. It's a very long, convoluted connection that she has to that number, and I don't have it memorized. But yes, the 13th was on purpose. I think
it happened to be an available date.
That's like we also are
got to be the 13th.
completely booked. So we're
Yes.
Yeah.
You happen to be available then.
We
yes.
happen to be. That was one of the only dates we were available. Yeah.
They've been busy this year.
3 to 4 a month.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. And the concert starts at what time? I don't know. Did we say that, or we missed it?
I believe it's 6:30 doors and 7:30 concert time.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right.
It's exciting.
It is
Yes.
exciting. Well, especially for you.
Well,
Swifty, you.
Why not? Quick question though. You started by saying you can't say enough good things about the Alton Youth Symphony. Give me something else.
Oh my goodness.
Tell us what it's all about, and tell us the work that you do.
Wow. Okay. So I think I already mentioned it's a completely free program. So it's one of the only not-for-profit music organizations where kids don't have to pay a membership fee. They have to buy a polo shirt. That's about it. But they
Now, does it feed the schools? The schools feed it, vice versa?
When it started, it was founded by Ken Conradi and Larry Krabs, two very well-known music educators in the community who are still active board members, I might add. And so their thought was, back in that time, all of our junior high schools, we had like 4 of them. And so the orchestra groups and band groups in those schools were very small. And their thought was, let's put all these kids together in a larger group, give them a full symphonic orchestra experience. And it has evolved really into more for Alton kids, to also being a place where kids from other school districts who maybe don't have a strong band program, or maybe they've got band but not orchestra, because there are a lot of those that offer band but not a string program. I think Edwardsville may be the only other district around here that does have orchestra. Or they're at a parochial school where there's not a program, or they're homeschooled. So we have kids from from public, private, and homeschool groups that are coming. At times we've had kids from across the river coming to be part of the program. So it has really grown beyond Alton to kind of several counties that we are seeing kids coming quite a distance from to be part of this program. And it gives them a place to grow and to be able to play with their peers.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, Courtney, tell us just a little bit about your background prior to this, and how did you become the tailor in TailorMade?
Oh, man. That is such a loaded question.
Always a music lover? Always?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Always a music lover, raised as a musician. Did my first talent show when I was in 4th grade. I sang Martina McBride's Concrete Angel. And I stood in one spot on the stage and did not look at anyone. I stared at the ground, and I just sat in my little cowboy hat, my little denim skirt, and my cowboy boots, and just sang like this with the microphone in my hand, staring at the ground. And but I was told from a young age that I was a gifted singer. And then I got in classical training when I was in 6th grade, and then bounced around to different vocal teachers all through high school. I participated in theater, community theater through Clinton County Showcase in Breeze. We actually just did a show to benefit them back in June. And that's still my home theater, although I don't have the time to do it now. And then I actually studied at SIUE. I majored in radio and minored in vocal performance. And then I also sang with the St. Louis Symphony, and I was in a band with my dad and my stepmom from the time I was 12 until I was 21. And that is how Mark, my co-founder and part of TailorMade, the brains behind it all really, discovered me and knew that I could sing. And he also ran sound for us when I was in that band. We were called the Hair Syndicate. We were 80s hair metal cover band.
Perfect.
It was amazing. Best ever. And I was in that band till I was 21. And then from there, I was approached by Mark, I want to say 2021, maybe? No, 2022. And he sent me this cryptic Facebook message, and he was like, hey, I have an idea for a musical project. Let me know when I can give you a call. And I was like, I haven't heard from this man in like a solid 8 years. He used to be our neighbor as well. And when he moved away, obviously I didn't see him. So the only time I saw him was on social media. And I was like, well, what could he have thought of me about? If all he's seeing is social media, what am I talking about all the time? And Taylor had just announced the Midnights album. And so I was going feral on my feed, just everything Midnights related, just being annoying and blowing it up. And I was like, I got in the shower and I was like, if this is a Taylor Swift thing, I think I might die. Like, I think I might pass out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm going to say yes, but that is just going to blow my mind. And I kind of manifested it. And I got out of the shower and I called him and he said, hey, so St. Louis does not have a Taylor Swift tribute band. And I said, I don't have any questions. I'm in.
I'm in, yeah.
Yep.
So September 13th.
Yes.
6:30 doors. Tickets, a link to tickets, Eventbrite, right? Is carrying the tickets can be found at Alton Youth Symphony.
And also Alton Symphony Orchestra's website.
And from what I understand, the Little Maid told me this may be one of the last opportunities to see TaylorMade this year or in a while.
And
locally, yes.
Yes.
That's absolutely true.
Well,
From Madison County.
Can't miss it.
Well, reason
You
to
better
go.
get your ticket before.
Next time you're going to have to hop on a plane and fly to Europe like other fans are doing.
This
Yeah,
is true.
no
We do
kidding.
we do have a residency at Wembley coming up. So it is important to note, we are extra excited about this show, not only because we are benefiting Alton Youth Symphony and Alton Symphony Orchestra, but also we are finally back inside.
Oh, yeah.
We have
It's
been
a hot
outside
summer.
all summer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is going to be the whole shebang. You know, there's no question of whether I can do quick changes here. How many costumes can I? It is all completely open.
Yeah.
Unlike when you play somewhere and you're changing, you know, within 2 feet of a stage and you're like, okay, everybody's staring
in
at
a
me.
trailer behind the stage.
In it, yeah, or they don't give you anything and you're like, okay, I guess no costumes today. That's fine. Cool. So yeah, this is going to be a big show and we're really excited to get to partner with the symphony and get to have them on stage. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for coming and
Yeah,
good
of
luck for you on the
course.
show.
Thank you
And
for having
don't
us.
be surprised if if this Swifty's out in the crowd.
If you're not there, I'm going to be mad.
And I might be there too.
You're going to be there.
Okay. I think I've been told.
You're both going.
Thanks for being with us. We're looking
Yeah.
forward to a great concert.
We are.
LC.